Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sean. It's no secret that South Korea has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. These days though, many other countries in the world are also suffering from very low birth rates. So why is this happening? Of course, there's a huge economic reason to this. These days, living in big cities is extremely expensive and people are just delaying marriage and having kids as long as they can. Me personally, I'm almost 32 years old and I don't have kids. So in this video, we asked several people from around the world what they think of the declining birth rate in Korea and the declining birth rate in many developed countries all around the world. Also, if you're currently studying English, I highly recommend you join my channel membership. Without further ado, let's begin. Hi, how's it going? Where are you from?
It's going great. I'm from Switzerland.
Denmark.
From Denmark.
Paris, France.
France as well.
Hi, I'm from Spain.
Ireland.
Ireland.
France.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Korea has one of the lowest birth rates in the entire world, somewhere around like 0.8. Why do you think that is? Why are people not having as many kids these days, in your opinion?
I didn't know that. I think it's South Korea is doing also quite well financially, and I think that leads to a lower birth rate.
Why does that lead to a low birth rate?
I think once people get comfortable with their economic situation, they maybe delay having children.
Probably has to do with like welfare providence from the government. There might not be much when it comes to like paying for your children's education and kindergarten and so on. It has to do with finding a proper housing and money for being able to house yourself, and it's something that the government would be able to handle with providing a bigger welfare scheme for its
more
citizens.
support.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a common thing in a lot of countries. In France too, we observe that the birth rate is pretty low.
Could also be age-wise, I guess, because of the many years in university, for some also years in the military. I mean, at what age can you actually have children? I guess that's also part of it.
I think because women are working more and they're trying to focus more on their careers now.
Maybe because of money things, money problems, or many people want to have kids when they have their own house, and it's quite expensive here.
And even though being a stay-at-home mom is a valid occupation, it's being less common in the recent years.
Do you think people think being a stay-at-home mom is a bad thing to be?
Maybe people think that they don't work, that they need their husbands and everything, but I think it's not true.
You think this is a bad stereotype?
Yeah, this is a really bad stereotype.
I think it's more because of feminism. Because now we're like, oh no, you're a woman, you shouldn't stay at home, you shouldn't be a mom, you shouldn't like pink, or you shouldn't like makeup, or whatever the reasons. And so because of feminism, they're trying to have more power and like to themselves, but choosing to be a stay-at-home mom is their power, it's their choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Having a child is the hardest work, I think, really.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah.
Thanks,
love
Mom.
you.
I don't know. It's bizarre to us. Like noticing everyone around here, there's a lot more couples than where we're from in Ireland. Like there's a lot of tandem going on. There's not many young couples in Ireland. Of course there is, but not as popular as it is here.
It might be a financial stability type of thing. So like they don't wanna have kids and then have the financial burden of then having no money when having to pay really high rent as well and high cost of living and everything.
And a kid is a lot of responsibility, so you need to trust the person who you are with, I think.
Is it the same in Switzerland?
It is similar in Switzerland, where the middle class as well has lower birth rates.
What's Denmark like?
I guess it's pretty normal to have children in Denmark.
Slowly rising, but not a lot.
How's the birth rate in Spain?
It's getting like lower every year.
What's France like?
I know that in Paris,
Really
it's really
expensive.
expensive, so it can be hard to have like more than 2 children.
But a lot of people are just going in countryside because it's less expensive to have a big house. So
maybe that's the main reason, because like, you know, in France there is like only one main city, or maybe 2 or 3.
Paris, Versailles?
Paris, Lyon and Marseille maybe.
yeah.
But you know, the major part of Korean live in cities.
Okay,
The major
so-
part of French are living in the countryside.
Yeah.
But it's not the same in Korea.
So French population is more dispersed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spread,
Spread out.
in the whole territory.
You have a lot of brothers and sisters?
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
I'm the youngest of 5.
Yep, I'm the youngest of 6.
Oh! See, that is so interesting. The older generation had much bigger families. How old were your parents when they had their first kid?
I think my mom was like, when she had my big sister, she was like 23 or something like this.
Wow.
This is young.
And?
My mom was 20.
My mom was 25.
Wow.
Yeah, she was young.
And
Yeah.
mine was in the mid-30s.
I think 30, but I
Oh,
also
that's
have
pretty late.
a big brother. Like we are like 4 years apart, so they were like 26
When they had their first kid.
32.
My mother was 28, I think.
I'm the firstborn, and my mom was 22.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I was firstborn, and my mother was 29.
okay, my mom was like 25, 26. Elon Musk recently said that we're going to have a massive problem in the next few decades all around the world in many developed countries because of population. People are having less and less kids. And he said that for South Korea, if the current birth rate remains unchanged, South Korea will be around 6% of its current population in 3 generations. What are the pros and cons of a world where we have much fewer people?
I think like Korea has so many people here. Like it's a small country with a lot of people living here. So maybe it would be a little bit more like comfortable living here.
You think there's some positives?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a very good thing for the environment in
Yeah,
general.
for the climate change, I guess. It's,
Yeah. It would make it so much more easier to pollute for everyone.
I think that's also a thought in I think in a lot of young Danish people's mind
Okay.
right now about having children. It's like, should we bring them into this world?
Positives you're saying are that they're good for the environment, less people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More room for everyone.
More room for everybody.
More room to
You don't
pollute.
have to build tall buildings.
Yeah. But,
What are the negatives?
You will have more older people that like younger generations.
Right, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
So we have to
with-
take care of this huge group of older people.
Yeah, and with the medicine right now, maybe people will be able to live until like 90 in a few years.
This is a really good point.
If you don't have like younger people
To run the systems and to take care of them.
What about the system? Like 10 years later.
That's a huge negative of low birth rate is we're going to have a massive amount of older people that we have to take care of, but there's going to be like much fewer people to take care of them. High
Other
taxes.
people?
Yeah.
Like,
We need to make some robots, I think. No?
I'm not a fan of robots.
You don't like robots? Why not?
Maybe robots will get our jobs.
I always thought the idea that this is not about how much people there are on the earth, but how good the goods are shared around the world. So I don't think that having fewer people is really good. I think like we have just to share what we have in developed country and in country that are poor. So yeah, I think this is my opinion on that.
Well, I mean, population is a big issue, I think, also in the future, because there is only limited space. So the birth rate slowing down, I think, is actually not all bad, because there's a shortage in space, in food as well.
Yeah.
So-
Real estate too, right?
Real estate as well, land, there's just not enough for a steady growing population. So a declining birth rate is actually, at first sight, it is a good thing, but then you're going to have other problems. I think what you said about Elon Musk,
Thanos would be happy.
Thanos would be happy, yeah? I mean, at least he had a good solution. If it was a good one, that's another thing.
I feel like the human is greedy. So even if we're less, there's still going to be a lot of pollution. We're always going to find ways to pollute more. because we want more, and I don't think being more humans or less humans is gonna change much.
When do you think you'd be ready in your guys' life to have a kid, you know, in the future?
For me, I wanted a lot of freedom and adventure
Before you start that.
before I start that
Yeah.
chapter of my life, I guess.
Right.
Because when I look at all my friends that have children, it's a new chapter and it's a lot less freedom in the beginning. You know,
One book closes.
Yeah.
And then a book opens.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm like 30
Exactly.
is, yeah.
Yeah, probably 10 more years easily.
I think I need to have more money to support like a family.
I think maybe like stable job.
I don't think you'll ever be completely ready to have
Good answer.
kids.
Yeah.
But I would say right now I still I'm currently traveling the world. I want to see stuff, and whenever I feel like it, I'm just gonna be ready, and then if it happens, it happens.
But for me, someone I love together with and someone I want to hang around with.
Check.
And I think we're there so far. And then, of course, you also need to be economic independent. But that's much more easy in Denmark than I guess it is here in South Korea, because housing costs are lower. There's a bigger welfare government scheme that can support you no matter if you get sick or if you can't work, or if you need like to take a new education at some point. There's a scheme for that. And I think that makes a big difference, that you can be confident that you can have your children and you can support them and provide them and for your family.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Did you enjoy this video? If so, please let me know in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Sean, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.